Assalamu alaikum rahmatullahi barakatuh, everybody. You're probably looking at your screen going, that's a scrumptious looking black man. And you're right. My name's Preacher Mars, comedian extraordinaire. Now, brothers and sisters, you're probably saying, what looks better than that black man right there? I'll tell you. The thought of giving the people in need and assisting them when they need it. Sounds good to me. With that, I introduce the Launch Good Ramadan Challenge. Again, that's the Launch Good Ramadan Challenge, which I'll be highlighting on my show, the Shout Out Show, the last 10 days of Ramadan. Now, brothers and sisters, don't miss out. I'm going to tell you why. I am a good looking black man, yes. I'm a comedian extraordinaire, yes. But the Ramadan Launch Good campaign is a dope project. And I tell you, if you join, you might actually be as dope as me. Now, some of you going, Preacher Moss, I've heard people talk about the Launch Good Ramadan Challenge. What makes your message so different? I'll tell you why. I have a fireplace. Flame on. Assalamu alaikum rahmatullahi wa barakatuh, everybody. Ramadan Mubarak. This is Preach Mars joining you live from East Rutherford, New Jersey. I'm on the scene as I'm getting ready to perform and be a part of the Eid and Breathe function held at MetLife Stadium. Several years ago, you may have heard that 2019 that they had an Eid celebration at MetLife Stadium, and it was engaged. They had over 50,000 participants, Muslims for Eid. Very powerful statement. As you know, with the pandemic last year, we couldn't have anything. Everything was at home or virtual. This year, they have decided, brothers and sisters, to fight forward and make a presentation. And they're going to actually have the Eid at MetLife Stadium this year, but it'll be limited. It won't be 50,000 people. It'll be socially distanced, and we will be sure to make sure we practice all the safety measures and protocols that are out there. I hope you guys are going to see me there, and I hope I'll see you there. I'm looking forward to a great event, to say the least, and just the idea of being able to get together with brothers and sisters face to face and enjoy Eid. Vaccinations and masks will be enforced, I'm sure, but it's just a little thing about moving forward. And let me celebrate our people, our brothers and sisters who are around the world that are several time zones ahead of us. Eid Mubarak to you. Congratulations on yet another Eid, and my hope is that we'll see you next year for another Eid as well. I thank all praises due to Allah for allowing us to participate in this fast. As you know, many of us between Ramadan this year and last year, between the Eids, we've lost quite a few people. We all hope that they return to Allah, and Allah blesses them, forgives their sins, and gives them the highest levels of paradise. That said, my name is Preacher Moss. I'm the host of the S.O.S. the Shout Out Show. And today, of course, it's the last day of Ramadan, but I want to make sure that I make some points before I do that. Number one, I want to thank some of our sponsors, the people that kept us going. I want to give a shout out at the top of the show to BeFinanciallyIndependent.com. Again, that's BeFinanciallyIndependent.com. I want to also give a shout out to, again, Launch Good. Launch Good is an amazing crowdfunding source. Launch Good, thank you guys for coming on and supporting us as well. I want to give a shout out to Bayan Islamic Graduate School. Again, that's Bayan Islamic Graduate School. And I also want to give a shout out to some of the people on the Shout Out Show. Our regulars, you know who you are. Adam Khan, Altar Rashid, Sister Reed, Derek, my mother, Maxine Cade, Sister Fruits, Sister Rabina, Johnny Thomas, Imam Oliver, we've had a plethora of people that have come through the platform, and I just want to shout them out. If you're coming on the show for the first time, brothers and sisters, let me put this in your ear if you don't mind. This Eid, if you will, represents, and it'll come tomorrow, but it represents a lot. Really represents a philosophical shift about how we've done things for the last year. People, the eat and breathe. Let me explain the eat and breathe function of what's going on tomorrow at MetLife Stadium. We're going to be having a fundraiser for our brothers and sisters in India, where the pandemic has gone to dramatic and catastrophic proportions, if you will. And so we're going to be holding a fundraiser to raise whatever money we can to help our brothers and sisters over there. We talk about the mercy and the blessing. Sometimes when you're blessed, other people are suffering. And sometimes when other people are suffering, you're blessed. It happens. The idea is that we know what's going on and we have an opportunity to do something with it. So check us out at MetLife Stadium. Okay. On top of that, if you're coming on the show for the first time, this is a great show to come on. I have a topic that I've lined up. I've been sitting on this topic all of Ramadan. It hit me about a week and a half before Ramadan because I started thinking about how things were loosening up, but also about how we had been thinking. And sometimes I say, what are some of the things that we're missing? Some of the deficits that we have when we come out of pressure situations. So I will talk about our title in a moment. Quick shout out to anybody coming on the show for the first time. Simple rules. Number one, we thank you for coming on the show. That's number one. Number two, don't be a wallflower. Get in that comment section now. Let us know who you are, what you're thinking. Share your thoughts. We are open platform. I'm the host, but I don't own the platform. This is a platform that is made, designed, and I have to say, driven by the people that we have in our comment section. They are a dynamic and eclectic group of people. I brag on them. Yes, I do. And if you don't mind, for the first time, please go to the subscription button, click that, click the notification button if you don't. And if you like the show, click the like button. If you don't like the show, you click the don't like button. Just click a button. There you go. Just click a button. So let me get to the part of the show because this is our last day of Ramadan. And I have some thoughts that I do want to share. And I hope you feel comfortable in sharing your thoughts. Big shout out to Ree and Derek. They are on their way from D.C. to Michigan to pray proper respects to Ree's aunt. So, safe travels. Safe travels. I think they're on the layover right now, but safe travels. Our hearts go out with you, and we've been making a lot of dua for you that her life and her commitment to people and her purpose in its destination is celebrated. That's number one. Number two, we also pray for comfort of the family, the family that's left behind, because that's a difficult situation. It's a very difficult situation. So I'm aware of it. We've all been through it at some point in time. So much love. So let's get to our let's get to our guest. We got Sister Ree. Thanks so much, Ree. Ree is in between flights, trying to stick in there. That's right, in between flights. Don't miss your flight watching the Shout Out Show. All right, Sister Reed, I'm going to give a shout out to my brother, Johnny L. Thomas. He is at the finish line, brothers and sisters, of Ramadan. And they said, why are you bringing up Johnny L. Thomas? Well, first, he's my little brother. I shout out my little brother anyway. That's number one. Number two is he took the plunge with me. He's felt the sympathy of being Muslim at this point in time, and he decided, hey, big brother, I'm going to fast with you too. And it doesn't matter if he's not Muslim or not. It doesn't matter. It's just the guy said, listen, I see something valuable in that. And in his own way, spiritually, he wanted to get close to God. Who are we to sell? Who are we to stand in the way of that? Who are we to put up obstacles of people who want to build their spiritual muscle, build their connection with God? So I am happy that he did all of his days. And I just want you to know, JT, there's some people who are Muslim, they didn't finish out. They couldn't go 30 days in a row. I had to take a day off because I was sick one day, but I'll make it up. But I think the thing is, man, it was the spirit of the action. It was the spirit of the action. And for every Muslim that's out there that's completed Ramadan successfully, it was the spirit of the action. And that's what we're going to be talking about a little bit later for our topic, okay? Big shout out to you. Next up, I know who we got. Sister Jasmine Fruit. Sister Fruits, how did I just happen to say your name without even seeing you on the screen in the comment section? Eid Mubarak to you, sister. I know we haven't seen you. I know a lot of people have been in the cave of Ramadan. Thank you so much for coming on the show. Eid Mubarak to you. I'm very happy for you and your family. May Allah continue to bless you, guide you, inspire you, and give you capacity to do good in this world and in the next. Thank you so much. Oh, wait a minute. You're in Pakistan. Oh, it's 2 a.m.? God bless you for tuning in to the show. Tell everybody in Pakistan we say, what's up? Eid Mubarak. All right. Next up, we got Altaf Rashid, my main man, the official ambassador from Canada to the Shout Out Show, not to the United States, to the Shout Out Show. Brother, I know you're going to do it up big for Eid, but before you even get to that, man, congratulations and thank you so much for being a part of our Ramadan 30 for 30. How about that? We did 30 days and we did 30 shows in 30 days as a part of Ramadan. We didn't fall off, we didn't get weak, and we didn't get soft, brothers and sisters. We saw what it was and we enjoyed it, and we engaged in the action of fasting. We engaged in the action of having some relevant issues, and we engaged in the action of spiritual connection. So, Altaf, thank you so much, brother. I appreciate you for coming on the show. Next up, we got Brother Derek. All right, thank you, family. Thank you, brother. You and Miss Reed, you lit up Washington D.C. Had my aunt calling me when I was coming out of Newark Airport, just talking about y'all lunch yesterday. God bless you, man. You put a lot of smiles on people's hearts and a lot of smiles on people's faces as well. Oh, and who is this little Mars June 21? Hello, everyone. This is Queen Miriam. This is my little miss. Thank you, baby, for coming on the show. I appreciate you, and I hope that on this day that you have this day off, that you know what, everything you work for, everything you aspire to, Allah blesses you and gives it to you, because there are people who hope for things, and then there are people who hope and they back it up with work. My little lady backs it up with work. She has one of the best ethics out there. Yeah, I'm going to celebrate you. You know why? Because she went through Ramadan this year, doing all her Taraweeh prayers, fasting. You know, she made an OG, a little soft in the heart, a little moist around the eyes. You know, I want to thank you for the Quranic recitation publicly. I want to thank you for the Quranic recitation you did as a part of the event for the Nation of Islam. You don't know the good you did. Only Allah knows how much, but for me standing there as a man, I was very proud of you. Your recitation was perfect, and your intention was just as straight. All right, next up we got Muhammad said, whatever happened to Here Come the Muhammads? Well, brother, I will tell you what happened to Here Come the Muhammads. It didn't happen when I wanted to. But that doesn't mean it's not going to happen, because sometimes you can have a great idea, but unfortunately, it's just a great idea to you. Until Allah puts a particle on it and says this is what's going to happen and makes it a great idea for everybody, it's not going to happen. That's why you have to have patience. So, what happened with Here Come Muhammad? It just means that Allah said you got to have a little patience. I got the faith, I got the talent, got to have patience. That's what happened. Shout out to you, Muhammad. He's doing great work, brothers and sisters. As a part of Helping Hand. Miss you, brother. We got to catch up. Next up, look, we got Mary Moss, who's still standing after Ree and Derek left Washington, D.C. You know, it's always a pleasure when your mother, you know, my mom always, all the years I've been fasting, she always made sure, you know, when the sun went down, you had something to eat. It didn't matter if it was Domino's Pizza or we got Wendy's or we got Chinese food. My mother was always working. She knew when the sun went down, and she made sure her baby ate. And I'm only saying that because she's been doing this for over 30-some years. That's how long I've been Muslim. She's been doing it over 30-some years. And you know what, Mom, I appreciate it. I don't think I really said I appreciate it, but I do appreciate it. I know sometimes you and Miss Eleanor offer me food when the sun is up, and you go, ooh, it's okay. It's okay. It's just the fact that you go, ooh, you remember that your son is trying to fast, and you're keeping me in a space where it reminds me why I'm fasting. And the reason I fast, brothers and sisters, not that it's become incumbent upon all Muslims, it's like, you know what? If this is all I'm being asked to do once a year, But my Lord, this is it. I don't feel humble. I feel ashamed. I feel inspired that I must do more than that. So we're gonna talk about that as well. All right. So Ree and my mom are having their own conversation in the comments section, and that's quite all right too. You know, when people enjoy each other and care about one another, you just get out the way. All right. Wa alaikum assalam rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. We got an Eid Mubarak all the way from Indonesia with Sister Ika. Sister Ika, she engaged this Ramadan with starting her own catering business, preparing food, preparing iftar meals. Very proud of you, sister. Very proud. And we hope that out of this space that you continue to be successful with your food business. And we continue to make dua for you and your family. Next up, it's not that time yet. We got Brother Khan. Wa alaikum assalam rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Brother Adam, I hope you're doing well. Please, God, give my salams to your family as we are easing into the last hours of Ramadan. The last hours of Ramadan. And I have to say this, brothers and sisters, and I know people have been making this comment, Ramadan went quickly. Ramadan went quickly. And I'm going to talk about why I think it went quickly. It's just how we have refined how we learn coming out of a pandemic. Because there's certain things, there's scars, and then there's certain things about knowledge. There's pain, and then there's knowledge that comes from pain. It's just like winning and losing. The idea of winning and losing is not so much the reward, it's about the process. So I'm going to talk a little bit about process. Adam, give my salams again to your family. Eid Mubarak, my brother. Thank you so much for tuning into the show. Next up, we keep going to the Ramadan. I'm actually going to bring the title up right here, and I'm going to do the Ramadan reflection. It's going to be short. Learning how to laugh and learn for the spirit, brothers and sisters. Learning how to laugh and learn for the spirit. I just said that I thought, now this is my own thoughts. I just said that I thought that Ramadan went quickly. And I feel it did go quickly. And this is the reason I feel it went quickly. Because we weren't so anesthetized, if you will. We weren't so caught up with the aspect of the pandemic. We were caught up with the aspect that the pandemic was loosening. Life was getting back to normal. And it's just like an injury, if you will. If you're not able to practice a workout, a limb or injured area, then it stays that way. And even if you can't use it for a while, it atrophies. And what I feel was for a moment there, for the last, I don't know, for particularly up to the beginning of the year, spiritually and faith-wise, we had atrophy. We weren't using hope as much as we used to. We weren't using belief as much as we used to. We weren't using things like smiles as much as we used to, or laughter as much as we used to. I say learning to laugh, learning how to laugh, and learn for the spirit. We've had to relearn those aspects. I said a couple shows back that I wasn't writing comedy at one point in time because I just didn't see a whole lot that was funny. I saw comedians do shows, but the shows were dark. The shows, they lacked levity. Now, I'm not saying content, I'm just saying levity, whereby I wanted to see where the uplift was with some of the material. And it's beginning to come back. I make these ads and things like that. But even with the shout-out show, I admit there were some shows that were actually kind of dour, kind of dark. You want them to be informative, but you want people to have fun. And a couple of our Friday funnies weren't as funny as I wanted them to be. And I had to be honest. That's because I was seeing life through a particular lens, my lens, and what was being presented to me. And I thought about this in terms of learning how to laugh and learn for the spirit. It all comes down to the idea of acquisition. In the course of getting my master's in Islamic education, I came across this word in Arabic. The word is called kasb, K-A-S-B, kasb. And kasb means acquisition. But it's a different type of acquisition because it's an acquisition that allows you to engage your surroundings. But also, it's a different type of acquisition because it also allows you to challenge your surroundings. And we had gotten to a space in some regards where our acquisition was simply just acknowledgement. We weren't questioning the things around us. And as a result, not exercising that idea or working out acquisition as a thought and a verb, brothers and sisters, we had spiritual atrophy. All of us, no matter what religion you're in, we're all students of knowledge. We're all students of knowledge. Now, you may say religious knowledge. There's all kinds of knowledge, brothers and sisters. But very few people come into life and learn nothing. Okay? Everybody, if you brought into this lifetime, if you brought into existence, you learn something. The idea of learning how to laugh and learn from the spirit comes from the fact that there is a bounty in us. Let me phrase that. There's a bounty in us that has these aspects of acquisition, interpretation, recommendation, integrity, ethic. It has all these things. But I think, sometimes, in the rare instance of a pandemic, if you will, we can't use them. I was watching a Lakers game last night, and there's a guy named Anthony Davis. Anthony Davis is a superstar basketball player, but he had an Achilles strain and he had something else, and he didn't play for almost, I don't know, just say a lot of games, at least 50 games. He didn't play because he was injured. And watching him play, it was painful. Not because he wasn't talented, but he had to remember. He had to get back muscle memory about how he played the game, what made him effective, what gave him advantage over other places, over other players and the like. And sometimes laughing and learning are one and the same. One and the same. Laughing indicates some level of acceptance. Learning indicates some level of engagement. Acceptance and engagement. Engagement and acceptance. I am a comedian. Everybody knows that. Anybody knows me. But I've learned that there's an efficiency of words when you talk to people. And the efficiency of words is tied to the fact that you feel responsible for every vowel that comes out of your mouth. Is it purposeful? Is it meaningful? Is it generous? Now, it took me a while to get to that point, brothers and sisters, because it was easy just to get up on stage and say anything you wanted to. You could laugh, you could lie, you could be insulting, you do all these things. But as we come into Ramadan, or the close of Ramadan, if you will, there is something that changes in the heart that says, wait a minute, words matter. Words matter in a good way, words matter in a bad way. Here we are at the end of Ramadan, and we still have people brutalizing one another. Israel against Palestine, and Shia against Sunni, and things of that nature. We still have people. Here in the United States, the shootings didn't stop. But I'm going to ask, as we come out of Ramadan, is that, you know what? Let's refine that aspect of how we laugh, which is acceptance, and how we learn, which is engagement. Okay? So we're going to go to the end here. I hope you guys don't mind. We're just moving forward. I have our final Ramadan reflector sponsored by Bayan Islamic Graduate School. As many of you know, I'm graduating from Bayan with my master's in Islamic education. But it's a little bit deeper than that. I entered Bayan not to get a master in Islamic education. Originally, it was in Islamic studies. I entered Bayan because I knew that there was a deficit that I didn't have in terms of my thought process. So I entered Bayan because I wanted more tools in my toolkit. I wanted more skills in my tool belt to be able to deal with people, to be able to find myself in situations, scenarios, and have a base, if you will, a base of which to talk about meaningful things. We're not talking just, Islamic theology, kalam. We're not talking about that. We're talking about the protocol of how you learn to have love language towards brothers and sisters. love language towards the poor, love language towards the rich, even love language towards the oppressor. I didn't have it. And when I came to band, I was skeptical. Brothers and sisters, I was skeptical. Because I was worried, are you going to change, in essence, what is me? Am I going to get Islamic knowledge and I'm going to be a sheikh or a mulana? And it's like, and the idea, the beautiful, beautiful idea was that, no, you're going to be a better rendition of yourself, inshallah. And so as we move through Ramadan, I feel like the impetus is that can we come out saying honestly that we're a better version of ourselves? I'm not talking about on a scale of 1 to 10. This 1 being no movement, 10 being incredible movement. I'm talking about to a man and to a woman. Do you love yourself a little bit more? Do you love your God a little bit more? You see, one of the things that's funny about band is it's technical in some regards. I drove some of my teachers crazy. Big shout out to one of the teachers, my history of Islam teacher, and he said, "Well, because I wasn't digging it." And he was like, "Well, because it was, going back to time of probably all the wars and stuff." And I said, "Hey, man, wake me up in 1950 when you get to black people." It was a joke, but he didn't take it that well. It reflected in my grade. But my point is, you can't be afraid. We cannot be afraid to acquire knowledge. We cannot be afraid to share knowledge. The thing about Ramadan is that during this time, we all have a shared experience. But that shared experience is meant to, in a meaningful way, help us micromanage our individual experiences. How are you able to get out of old habits? They're not necessarily bad habits, and I've put that out there. Sometimes the old habits just don't work anymore, or old relationships, or new relationships, for lack of a better word. How is it we can pare down now and find this discipline, but the next 11 months we're gonna go buck wild, we're gonna overeat, we're gonna overindulge, and all those type of things? I'm going to, like a lot of you, I'm going to attempt to do Sha'ban, but I'm going to attempt to carry this fast for another year. And I'm going to tell you why. Because now, the idea of acquisition is so important now. I've got to know who I am in these situations and how I react to certain environments and who I let in my circle of influence. And it's not to be persnickety or discriminating against. It's just that I want to make sure that I am putting myself in a situation where I get to love me and I get to see people around me love themselves. I'm not talking about an ego type of way, but love themselves because the greater love has come to them. A love that comes from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, a love that comes from God, a love that comes from whatever you are connected to. This is what it's all about. This is what it's all about. And I believe, brothers and sisters, in that space, like I said, laughing, acceptance, learning, engagement, we can change the condition of ourselves and the environment around us. Can you imagine if the world had to do Ramadan? Think about that. Imagine if the world had to do Ramadan. You had to give 30 days away. When I say 30 days, I mean like 30 days you can't do what you've been doing. The permissible and definitely not the impermissible, but you framed it whereby the code or the action is sacrifice, but it's willing sacrifice. It's an intellectual compromise that you put yourself in. My first Ramadan, brothers and sisters, I darn near starved to death. And in the late days of my Ramadan, I realized that it wasn't about me. It was about me recognizing life around me, recognizing blessings around me. Not just my blessings, but other people's blessings. Recognizing that people hurt, Recognize that people are oppressed. Recognize that people are eating, but there are a lot of more people who are not eating. Recognizing that, as much as I know, the real world is the unseen, the hype. And in that, I had to interject myself and put my space, put my faith in that thing, but move from faith to belief. Believing in the unseen. Thinking, brothers and sisters, that by making someone laugh, I might make someone else laugh, and they might laugh. And in a moment of desperation, somebody will have levity. Someone will think about something that was said, that was kind of funny, or mentioned to them, and just for a moment, it gives them a break from all the things that are going on in life. So I'm going to wrap up, brothers and sisters, and this is the last day of the Ramadan 30 for 30. All of you have been nothing short of tremendous. The actions, the energy, I have to say, and I'd be remiss if I didn't, the people on the Shout Out Show made Ramadan, for me, go very, very quickly. Because I was inspired not to just do the show, but I was inspired to serve you. I was inspired to try to put together a good show, put together good topics. We had our Mother's Day show, the loving calamity that it is. Every year we put it up, but it's a celebration of our elders, a celebration of their lives, a celebration of mothers and motherhood. It doesn't get any better. So to all of you who are watching, who are in the comment section, give a shout out to, I always give a shout out to my mama. I'm going to give a shout out to Clifford Morris Jr., who's tuned in, my dad, who's tuned in, and he reminds me of things when I talk on the Shout Out Show. And we have religious talks now. We talk about God. This is things we didn't have before, and that's the beauty of Ramadan, brothers and sisters. We could talk about spiritually where we are and where we want to be. So I am counting down. It is 6:32. I got about an hour and a half on the clock, a little bit more than that. But it's not even counting down. It's almost like a sadness, a very happy sadness that I'm going through because Ramadan's coming to an end. That feeling of when you get up in the morning that your life is bracketed by service and sacrifice and prayer and service and sacrifice and prayer and service and sacrifice. And I just wish to carry it on. So listen, I'm going to let everybody get to what you were doing. But as you come out of Ramadan, don't forget this feeling of commitment and this feeling of excellence. Under the most, unnatural situations, you were excellent. You found ways to do things. You found ways to go to work and work 8 hours, 10 hours. You found ways to deal with your children. You found ways in difficult times in the pandemic to work and be creative and all these type of things. And then most importantly, at the top of it, you found time and dedicated time to connect yourself with your Creator. It doesn't get any much better than that. So my brothers and sisters, I hope everybody's doing well. I appreciate you, and we're going to see you soon. Let me give a shout out one more time for our sponsors. Big hand up for Be Financially Independent. BeFinanciallyIndependent.com. Again, that's BeFinanciallyIndependent.com. That number is 1-800-679-3175. Again, that's 1-800-679-3175. Thank you so much for BeFinanciallyIndependent.com supporting our cause and being part of the Ramadan 30 for 30. We love you and thank you so much. Shout out also for Bayan. Go to Bayan Online. Again, that's Bayan Online for Bayan Islamic Graduate School. I'm telling you, brothers and sisters, I was not the greatest student at Bayan, but I was a committed student. And if you can be committed, I believe that you can get a lot out of this program. I'm telling you, I believe it. I believe in this program. If you want to talk to me about Bayan, give me a call. If you want me to put you in touch with people over at Bayan, give me a call. Don't worry about the money and things like that. They have scholarships and grants. If your heart is in a place where you want to increase your spiritual knowledge, then doggone it, go ahead and do it. Go ahead and do it. I was the same way as you were, but somehow, some way, a pathway opened up for me, and 3 years later, I have my master's. All praises due to Allah. All right, everybody. Big shout out to Sister Satana who's holding it down. Appreciate you. I didn't give you a shout out earlier, but I'm giving you a shout out now. 30 for 30, brothers and sisters. This is our second 30 for 30. Can you imagine if we, oh my gosh, can you imagine if we go another year? I mean, we done 1 year. I might go another year. So for that as well, thank you for supporting the shout out show. I'm going to get out of here. You guys have been excellent. Take care of yourselves. And in advance, Eid Mubarak. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. It's Preacher Moss, the shout out show. Yo, assalamu alaikum. I'm Preacher Moss, comedian extraordinaire, but I like to add a new title to my name. I'm Professor Preacher Moss. You know why? Because I just graduated. Wait a minute, let me get this out of here. This is it. Okay. I'm Professor Preacher Moss, and it's come through the courtesy and the blessing of the Muhammad Ali Scholarship, which came through Bayan Islamic Graduate School. Now, listen, I know a lot of you people are thinking, can I do it? Yes, you can do it. This is the part where I'm supposed to say, it's easy. It's not easy. Listen, it was easy to get this degree. Trump would be a mufti. I digress. Listen, though, for you brothers and sisters that are interested, go to bayanonline.org, and you could be like me. Put yourself in the picture for Islamic education. Wait a minute, there's a picture right there. Sound like them, everybody. Take care. Preach them off.
Hey everybody, this is your brother Preacher Moss. Listen, I hope that you enjoyed your shout out show experience. We'll be back with the next show, the next shout out show. A simple ask before you go, please help your brother out. Click that subscribe button, click that notify button, and I'll see you again on this side of the microphone. You probably wonder what that smell is. That's me. I smell good. And the reason I smell good is because I use oils from Tarif Attar. So I'm not saying you can't smell good. I'm not even saying you stink. I'm saying you have the opportunity to smell exquisite. Check out tarifattar.com for some of the best oils and scents in town.